Hello and welcome back to 2CTV with the latest update from the UK general election, and the House is now officially secured and safe. Right, let's talk about what's been going on over the last few days. We had a lot of media attacks on Reform UK, on Nigel Farage, on their candidates. We had a couple of candidates defecting to the Tory party. That's the headline from the mainstream media. But in this video, we're going to be exposing all that because the media is lying to you. Okay, let's get on with the show. See what's been going on. A few days ago, a couple of days ago, I think, we heard that Liam Booth Isherwood defected from Reform UK suddenly. They made it sound like this man has been loyal to Reform UK. He has been a Reform UK member for a while, and he then became a candidate. Then suddenly he decided to choose a new political party, the Conservative Party. Why? Because Reform UK is controversial. He's suddenly realizes, oh, Reform UK are quite right-wing. And then they came out with accusations that there's a lot of racism going on in Reform UK. Then we discovered that Liam was in fact a Tory supporter anyway. He came out of nowhere. And everything goes back to, let's not forget, Reform UK must take accountability, and they are. The responsibility in terms of failure to vet the candidates' backgrounds properly. Obviously, they were let down by their vetting company last minute, but they should have been more careful anyway. But this was always going to happen. These are the Tories who've infiltrated Reform UK until last minute. When they say defect to the Tories, they're not defecting to the Tories. They're going back to the Tories because they're always Tory. And the way you can see is also not in terms of their backgrounds. They were never Reform UK members before. Is also that they all have identical statements. They're all accusing the same thing, same words, same sentences, and also saying that you should support the Tories very passionately. There's another one, Georgia David. Georgia David is also today defected to the Tories, but then discovered she was also a Tory anyway. She was not part of Reform UK all this time. She came out of nowhere. She also made it sound like essentially I'm just joining the Tories for the first time or something, supporting the Tories for the first time, and passionately saying you should vote Tory. Now, there was a story that we reported also a couple of days ago. Richard Tice exposed this, that a number of Reform UK candidates have been approached by the Tory party, bribing them, saying you should resign and then endorse the Tories and we'll get you a good job. And these are the exact same sentences and words that they've been telling these candidates to use anyway. So they've fallen for the trap and they infiltrated Reform UK, thinking that we're all stupid, like the mainstream media. If you are defecting to, for example, the Tory party at this point, firstly, why not go to the Lib Dems? I don't know, any other party really. You can't be that passionate about publicly saying, guys, support the Tories. Rishi Sunak is the best. Why were you a Reform UK candidate in the first place anyway? I would have, for example, if I were a genuine Reform UK candidate and I've suddenly decided that Reform UK are bad people, and I would say I'm reluctantly leaving and I would join stand as a Tory, right? I still would not really passionately say the Tories. I would say, so annoying that Reform UK basically didn't make it comfortable for me to stay. I'm now basically no longer Reform. Why do you have to become so passionately Tory? We know exactly what happened. Isabel Oakeshott actually exposed this as well, saying the Tory party sinks to a new debt by secretly installing a load of paper candidates, by the way, they're paper candidates, not full candidates active, to stand for Reform UK, then getting them to cry racism and bigotry at the last minute. We see you. And for someone who knows Reform UK and the leadership of Reform UK and everyone around it, I can confirm there is no racism or bigotry as part of that party anyway. Isabel said, desperate Tory party gets fake candidates to join Reform, then quit at the last minute, shrieking, racism, obviously. And of course, these tactics are filthy and anti-democratic. I agree. She also went on to say that the Tory Trojan horse plot was, of course, assisted by Rishi Sunak calling a snap election, which left parties including Reform UK, scrambling for candidates. Of course, Reform should have done better with vetting and spotted these fake candidates. I absolutely agree. Reform underestimated just how low the Tories would go and are paying a heavy price. I agree for that naivety. But in the time available, days, a startup party could not possibly have weeded out all the stooges. I also agree with this. She finishes by saying this it's clearly a dark arts operation by CCHQ, the Tory Central Office, between now and Thursday. Stand by for more paper candidates trying to frighten voters with lurid tales of Russia and racism. We did warn you guys about this days ago when I said that the Tories are trying to be bribing and also infiltrating, planting their own fake paper candidates as Reform, coming out of nowhere. These people were not members of Reform UK to do this. Of course, Reform UK, as I said, they should have done better vetting, but they didn't have time. It's a startup party. They relied on this vetting company that didn't do their job anyway. So this happened anyway. But let's be honest. Media is not honest with you. They're lying to you. We know that, right? One or two, let's just say hypothetically, one or two candidates that the media have exposed said bad things, right? And they've been getting rid of them because some of these activists were fake anyway. Let's just say Reform UK had 4 or 5 people who said bad things. And the Reform UK dealt with it very quickly. Why is it that the media are not talking about the main two parties? The reason the Reform UK had issues, even if they were real members but said some controversial things, was because it's a startup party. It's difficult to, obviously you're going to attract all type of people, and it's difficult to control the membership. That's normal because it's a startup party. What's the excuse for the Tory party and the Labour Party? What is the excuse for them after all these years of experience and resources that they have a whole list of criminals as part of their parliamentary membership? This is a whole list, part of the list actually, of the Labour MPs who have been suspended recently. The media are not talking about any of these people. They talked about 1 or 2 of them because they were bigger names, but not all of them. Eric Joyce, child abuse images. Jared O'Mara, fraud. Mike Hill, sexual. Nick Brown, so bad that the Labour Party won't even say what he's done. Conor McKinn, again, same thing. Christian Matheson, sexual. Rupert Huck, racism. Naz Shah, racism. Chris Williamson, same thing. Jeremy Corbyn, same thing. Liam Byrne, bullying. Christina Rees, bullying. Claudia Webb, convicted criminal. Nick Coyle, racist. Fiona Onasanya, criminal, convicted criminal. David Chaiter, yep. Convicted criminal. Eric Ilsley, convicted criminal. Dennis McShane, convicted criminal. Devin, again criminal, and Elliot Morley. The media are not talking about these guys or the Tory party. A whole list of MPs, activists, members, and those who are part of the leadership of the voluntary party. All these years, on a regular basis, these things happen. They don't really care. But when it comes to Reform UK, a startup party that finds it difficult to control and check every single person who joins as a member, well, 1 or 2 people said something controversial, guys. This is the end of the world as we know it. They're all in it together. It got to a point where Reform UK had to make this... it is indeed a cringy and cheesy video. I agree, what I'm about to show you, in case you haven't seen this. And they are playing right into the hands of identity politics, but they had to make something like this. I know it's a little bit cheesy and weird, but it still proves a point, what I'm about to show you. It proves a point that these are the real Reform UK people. I know we don't like identity politics, but the other side plays it, so Reform UK decided to also play the same game.
Apparently, we're all racists. Apparently, we're all bigots. Apparently, we're all xenophobes. Apparently, we're all far right. Apparently, we hate foreigners or people with different coloured skin. And yet, across this country, these people are standing for reform. A diversity of cultures. A diversity of religions. The diversity of race. We are a diverse party that our critics hate. They call us racist because they don't know how else to attack us. They call us racist because they don't know how to deal with our policies that help ordinary people, not the wealthy elite. That help small business, not big business. Because we offer genuine change to the failing politics of this country. They smear us because they fear us. Because they know we're bringing back pride, decency and common sense to this country. If you're sick of politicians, then change things. You can make it happen by voting Reform.
Yeah, cheesy, I know. But it still proves the point. It's absolutely insane what's going on right now. All these lies, using the same script, coming out of nowhere, infiltrating a party, last minute resigning, especially after the story already came out days ago, which we reported, and the media didn't, that the Tory party have been also approaching other Reform UK people, bribing them and offering them jobs and money by saying resign last minute and endorse the Tories and we'll basically help you out. The problem here is that all these people who are defecting to the Tories, fake defections, you know what they are? They're still Reform UK candidates. So when you go to vote, still vote for them because their name will still be a Reform UK candidate. Because this election is not really about the number of seats. This election is about the overall popular vote. This is about sending a message, even if that means voting for those two idiots who have now left on the electoral system. Their names are still next to the Reform UK logo. It's too late now. And now it's about voting for Reform UK, even in seats where they don't have a chance to win, those who want to support Reform UK, because it's your chance to send a message that the overall popular vote will be going to Reform this time. To also expose the problems and the flaws in the current electoral system, as well as sending a message that the Tories need to wake up and the Labour Party are not loved by the country. You know, the issue that we have is that the other parties are trying to do tactical voting. Their main rival is now Reform UK. It's not the Tories. They are desperate. The media are desperate. They see Reform as a bigger threat, not necessarily a threat that they think Reform UK is going to win the election or become forming a government. No, but they know this is the rise of Reform UK. They can see what happened with Le Pen in France since 2015-16. And she slowly came up and became mainstream and became credible and accepted. Before that, they just had her on the fringes to basically suppress the votes, but it no longer works. Okay. We have Mandy, super chat. Thank you, Mandy, saying, are Reform UK anti-Semitic? I keep being told they are literally the opposite of that. In fact, they at times they've been upsetting the ultra-Christians because they go around and say Judeo-Christian values instead of Christian values. They are very much not anti-Semitic. Tories and Labour are full of open anti-white. Being accused of racism by them is akin to Jimmy Savile. Whoa. Don't know where that sentence was going, but I bet it was juicy. Yvonne says, they're doing this to get Reform voters back to them. Won't work. I'm still voting Reform. Well done, Maya, pointing this out. Thank you very much. Somebody has to do the right thing in the media. Michelle says, from the text of her resignation, it was clear that she had been given a script to use. Same as the one before. They use the exact same sentences, same phrases, same words, passionately supporting Rishi Sunak and the Tories. They're all fake people. They infiltrated the party, Reform, become fake paper candidates, not even real candidates. Last minute, they defected. They resigned as if they were like real active candidates in a marginal seat. They think they had no chance of winning anyway. The whole thing is completely set up by the Tories. AJ says, does this mean they have no candidates in some constituencies now because they are defecting? This is a failure of scrutinized vetting. No, they have. That's why I said it's too late for these people, so their names will still be next to the Reform UK logo. And I think people should still vote for them, including those two idiots who now left Reform UK, just to send a message that it's about the overall popular vote, not even number of seats. Somebody reminded us, there we go, 3,000 people watching live. Actually, yeah, more than that now. Only 900 likes. Smash that like button. Yes, thank you guys. Click on the like button. It will help the video. Another super chat. Why does Nigel need a party best policy go solo? How can you go solo in a parliament, in any parliament? That's not how, it's not a presidential system. You need a team. You can't just be one MP. What are you going to do with that? Nothing will get done. If you want to be a rebel and an activist, just stand outside shouting like Femi. Or what's the other one? Steve Bray. Stop Brexit. Doesn't do anything. You have to have a party to be able to either form oppositions or form pressure groups at least, or form government. Already voted for reform. We know that Tory's TCHQ will lie, cheat and do anything to stay in power, or to help their friends of the Labour Party to stay in power now, get into power. Arnold's from Australia saying, good morning. I'm not. You want me to get cancelled? You really want me to get cancelled? Thank you, by the way, for the super chat. These other parties have tried to sabotage reform, showing their true colours. It's about time that we called out these cheaters, show the world their true colours. That's why we do what we do on 2CTV with your support. Even when during the live report the whole house becomes under attack from all sides and the police comes. I make it sound so dramatic. It was getting scary though when it was trying to push the door to and obviously do force entry. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the first live stream of the day, because towards the end of the live stream we had someone trying to enter the flat by force and we had to call the police. That was fun. Also, I have now edited that video, so you can't get any of the personal private information anywhere. Anyway, Lady Cat says, I just noticed I've been unsubscribed, but just fixed that. Yeah, always double check. Sometimes you will automatically get unsubscribed. I'm not doing it, by the way. Make sure you're always subscribed. He says, Maya, thank God, thank the Lord that you made that edit. Bless you, Maya. Time to move out to a separate, more secure location, and maybe think about using a CP operative or a hotel. So I'm going to get in touch with the people who helped Bin Laden to hide in caves and whatever he was in a compound all those years, because Bin Laden was the champion of hide and seek. So I'll probably have to make a call to CIA. They're good, right? To find me a safe house. I'm not going to Pakistan though. If they're going to tell me to go there, I'm not doing that. Or Birmingham. Still bad. Apologies to everybody who's pro-freedom watching from Birmingham. It's not my fault. Your city is getting destroyed. What about the begging letters CCHQ are sending to reform voters about the future? So we have already exposed all this on 2CTV over the last few days. If you go on the channel and check out the list of the live streams that we've done and the videos, you can see all these reports already done by 2CTV. Feel free to share them as well. Thank you, Subi47, for the reminder. Laura says, hi Maya, I hope you're okay. That's so scary. What a shame. Take care. That sounded sarcastic the way I read it, but I know Laurie wasn't being sarcastic. Donna says, I have a spare room. Do you now? Stop flirting with the subscribers, Maya. Stop flirting. Doug, dig a tunnel, Maya. Actually, yes, a tunnel might be good. I might have to get in touch with the Jews in Brooklyn. Was it Brooklyn? I think it was Brooklyn. Yeah, Brooklyn, I think. The Jews with the tunnels in New York. That was a fun story, wasn't it? Still don't know what happened with that. Yeah, there are people asking about the guy who was trying to enter the flat by force. So the interesting thing about that story was he didn't have an ID or a phone. Who doesn't have a phone these days? Weird, right? Dale Hansen says, vote Labour. We have a Labour supporter in the live chat. Welcome. Free speech, guys. Free speech. What else do we have? Got Doom89 saying, already voted last week by post. Oh, you're lucky. I'm a first-time voter, and it's nice to have a party that I feel I can actually vote for, that actually wants change. Doom89, you are a bigot, apparently, according to the media. So, Robin Green says, like, subscribe, enjoy, and vote reform. All in that order, by the way. Mike says, one of our regulars, saying, I wonder if Labour pulled the racist out of Clacton completely. If not, the 3 votes he gets will not give him the majority. So they just got rid of him. So in case you don't know, this was the guy, the candidate in Clacton for the Labour Party, who was exposed as an anti-white socialist. And the Labour Party just quietly removed him from Clacton. He's still on the list, so you can vote for him. But they just moved him and said, can you just don't hang around Clacton, because you can't clearly keep your mouth shut. That was a funny one as well. But the media, again, they're not really interested in investigating that. But we have already done that on 2CTV. We do their job, even if they refuse to do it. Another super chat hashtag on 12:15. Missing ballots and fake actors. Soon M16, I think that's MI6, will be, I think also you mean MI5, will be invading Parliament, pretending to be bad actors. Yeah. US election all over again. There's so much nonsense happening right now in politics that I wouldn't even be surprised if something like that happens. Dale again says, Labour Party very strong in 2024. You need to use a verb. You need a verb in that sentence. Is. Labour Party is very strong in 2024. I hope that helps. Brian Jones says, Labour plan on changing the constitution, handing more power to local councils corrupted to them, the end of the House of Parliament. So what they are doing is they're also giving out more powers to the European supreme judges and the European Union. And the wrong idea that they are selling the idea of giving more powers to councils as decentralization. It's not, because they will still be controlled by the central government. They are giving money to them. Just they are treating them like devolved administrations, Scotland, Wales. And so all the local councils are going to be completely messed up going forward. Nothing is going to get done properly. All these constitutional changes, by the way, must be done by using a referendum. You can't just change a constitution. It's not normal policy without getting the consent of the public. Barbara says, thank you for the super chat. I gave a spare room and a dog. Even gave a big family with ex-service people, me included. We'll keep you safe, hon. Thank you, Barbara. I appreciate this. Don't worry, I've got my plans sorted now. Don't worry about safety and housing and everything else. I'm going to go to France, get on a dinghy, come to Dover and get a 5-star hotel. Might not be a bad idea, actually. I already have this skin color. Laurie says, no, I care about your well-being, Maya, always. Thank you so much for that. Peace Now says, reform is anti all poor people. Imagine if you're a political party that you were openly anti like a big group of people. You do realize you need to get their votes. It's like when the accusation came about the Tory party all those years ago, that, what was it? Like, for example, Tory party hates the middle classes, and then Tory party hates the working classes, and Tory party hates small businesses. Like, but these are the big voters. Why would any political party be anti them? It makes no sense, you idiots. So obviously the actions of the policies might end up being like that. I agree sometimes. The Labour Party is the same thing. But they would never come out and say we're anti this. It's stupid. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a quick break. We'll come back with more updates. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maya TC, and we are the media.